We normally think of inflammation as something that swells, forms a pus, and pops. It can happen outside of our body in the form of pimples, but also on the inside of our body. So, is microinflammation basically a mini version? Let's find out. When I Google the definition of inflammation, it is a localized physical condition in which part of the body becomes reddened, swollen, hot, and often painful, especially as a reaction to injury or infection. It's our body's way of protection and a sign that lets us know where the problem area is. And the truth is, once we find the cause of why this happened and eliminate it, that's a job well done. But the problem is that sometimes the inflammation does not go away and travel throughout the body, creating new inflammations. And those can damage our organ systems. What's annoying about microinflammation is that there is not a specific symptom. Plus, it is very small, so it's difficult to detect it. And they can become chronic. The two characteristics of microinflammation is that first, it travels all over our body through blood. Second, it recruits other inflammatory chemicals and grows its size. In other words, this tiny inflammation can be problematic for our whole body. So what kind of diseases are we talking about? What we know as chronic illnesses like obesity, diabetes, and cancer all start from microinflammation. Let's take a look at blood and see how microinflammation can create problems there. So how does microinflammation affect our blood? It disrupts the function of insulin, which controls blood sugar levels. And the increase of blood sugar level causes diabetes, and the unused sugar in our body gets converted into fats. That causes obesity. When it's in the liver, it causes fatty liver, hepatitis. When it's in the stomach, it can cause chronic gastritis. When it's in the intestines, it can cause Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis. By the way, the greatest amount of serotonin is concentrated in the gut, which is part of the reason why gut-brain connection is relevant to microinflammation. It can also attack bones in the muscles and cause muscle atrophy, herniated discs, rheumatoid arthritis, and osteoporosis. When it attacks the skin, it causes autoimmune disorders like eczema and hidradenitis suppurativa. Chances are you've probably heard one of these diseases we just went over. Microinflammations are the basis of almost all the scary illnesses we know. Well, the actual reason that medical professionals began paying attention to microinflammation is its connection to cardiovascular disease in particular. The main cause of heart diseases is due to high low-density lipoprotein, or LDL, which is a type of cholesterol we don't want in our body in high amounts. So American doctors observed patients with cardiovascular diseases, but found out that about half of the patients had normal LDL levels. So they decided to test the high sensitivity C-reactive protein levels, also known as hsCRP. This protein is synthesized in the liver as a reaction to inflammation. So high level of hsCRP means microinflammation is taking place somewhere in the body. And what they found was that people with high level of hsCRP were twice as likely to die from heart attack compared to those with high level of LDL. That's why the American Heart Association recommends blood hsCRP test along with cholesterol level test as a key indicator for predicting heart disease. These blood tests can quickly check our inflammation levels. Well then, exactly how and where does microinflammation begin? Let's find out in part 2.